Hey there, this is Amelia here. Welcome to Amelia's crossdressing story. Today we are going to share a story called Girls' Day. Please subscribe to us and join Patreon for more exclusive content. I saw them as soon as I walked into the house, two pairs of Mary Jane shoes. One in classic black patent, the other in red kid. Sitting with the shoes on the dining room table was the small black purse. Standing at the table, all smiles, were my mother, sister, and my cousin. Guess what we found in your room? I knew what they had found. I was looking right at them. I decided to try a power play and said, I really don't know what you ladies found and I couldn't care less. Seemed to work. The girls became defensive and started to both talk at the same time. Male power, I thought as I started to move by them and go to my room. Well, it almost worked. Mom didn't buy it and darn, I was afraid of that. Just a minute, dear, she said. We still want to know why you have these pretty things. I was really stuck. I had taken the black shoes and the handbag from my sister about a year ago. They no longer even fit me. The red ones belonged to my cousin and I had snatched them just yesterday. I planned to put them back later today. Well, at least before Sunday when her visit ended. I knew she wouldn't be wearing her good shoes until she went to church Sunday morning and then returned to her home that afternoon. Shit, I really thought I could get away with it. Did you wear them, Pumpkin? My mom asked. Pumpkin. Oh my God, I gotta get out of here. She took me aside, arm around my shoulder, and very sweetly asked me if I needed to tell her anything. I said no, and ran to my room. I was sitting on the bed when she came in. She had the red shoes in her hand along with a few other things. Well, Pumpkin, I for one want to see how you look in these. Mom, no, I don't want to wear them in front of you. She smiled and told me that I would wear them not only in front of her, but also in front of my cousin Denise and my sister Shelley. She went on to say that shoes wouldn't be the only pretties I would wear. We are going to really have some fun, Pumpkin, she said. No, Mom. Iyayat. She never stopped smiling. She just said as sweetly as you can imagine. They should fit you nicely. I even brought a pair of pantyhose for you too. Okay, Pumpkin, drop those pants. Let's have a look. In a surprisingly quick move, she was next to me on the bed and had pushed me back. She undid my pants and said, Are you going to take them off or am I? I took them off and took off my underwear. I glared at her as she handed me a pair of white nylon panties. Let's take a look. She seemed to like how I looked in panties. Do you know how to wear pantyhose, Pumpkin? She agreed to show me even though I had said nothing. After modeling the hose for her, she handed me the shoes. I knew they fit. I had had them on earlier that day. But I was surprised at how nice they felt with the nylons on. Mom bent down and secured the buckles and had me stand and walk for her. She handed me the last item she had, a plaid skirt, short, pleated and mostly reds and greens. She zipped up the back zipper and patted the bed and said in no uncertain terms, Sit. I sat. She moved over to stand in front of me. She couldn't conceal her laughter as she surveyed my debasement. Wow, pants to panties in about 10 minutes. Mom, please, but I never finished. Girls, come on up. No, Mom, no. But it did no good. Two giggling girls stood, one on each side of Mom, laughing and chattering away about what they were planning to do with me. I just hung my head, and as I saw my nylon-clad legs exiting the plaid skirt and ending in the red Mary Janes, I just started to cry. If I had cried to gain sympathy, I would have been disappointed. The most I got was more teasing, and I heard things like, Cries like a girl. Mom said, Okay, butterfly, dry the tears and come downstairs. They all turned and left me alone in my misery. As I got up to follow, I saw myself in a mirror, a 15-year-old boy in a skirt and girl's shoes. Oh shit. Downstairs found us all back at the dining room table that had started it all. This time Mom handed me the little girl's purse I had stolen a year ago from my sister's discarded things. Dumbly I took it. Look inside, sweetums. I did, and found my wallet, lipstick, and a tampon. I groaned. Mom took the lipstick and made me pucker. She applied a small amount of the young girl pink to my lips, and then to my horror put a little hair clip on one side of my head. I really wanted to die. Before I could recover, I was out the door, in the back seat of the car between my cousin and my sister. Feminine pronouns were flowing like water between Mom and the girl monsters. I realized they were talking about me as her, a she person. My sister was, as usual, on her cell phone chatting with some other teenage bimbo at the same time she was talking to Mom, Denise, and me. Then I heard her say, We'll be at the mall in 10, look for us in Wet Seal. "Mom, you can't take me to the mall." Nobody said a word. "Oh man, I am going to the mall. And who was the bimbo we were meeting at 10? It took my mother and my sister to drag me from the car. Cousin Denise said if I drug her shoes, I would just have to buy her new ones. This was more than I could take. Oh shit, I am starting to cry. Mom sat me in the front seat of the car and laid out the facts of life. We were here and I was going to the mall. Not only that, we were going to Wet Seal, where I would buy a complete outfit suitable for a girl my age and size. Then we would go to Macy's for shoes, a purse, and a stop at the Lancome counter for a little makeover. We would meet my girlfriend at Wet Seal, and she would assist in my transition. I could make it hard or make it easy, but it was going to happen. If I wanted it easy, Mom would tuck in my t-shirt, do my face, and allow me to be as much of a girl as I could. If I chose hard, I would be marched in just as I was right now. I chose easy. Mom and the girls went right into action. Makeup, brushes, and combs were flying. A few minutes later, Mom said, "There." My cousin Denise and sister Shelley stood there open-mouthed, and Mom looked a little dumbstruck herself. "What?" was all I had to say. "Pumpkin, you're lovely," was all Mom said. Mom told me that I looked very pretty and that probably no one would notice that I am a boy. It was probably the part that had me going. She went on to advise me that I had better act the part as well as look the part, or I would be found out for sure. Shelley and Denise flanked me and carried on a conversation with me about all sorts of girl things. Mom walked behind us and entered into the conversation and offered little tidbits of girl help that caused me to blush from neck to cheek. The mall was a madhouse of teenage girls and boys. The checking out of each other was rampant. Denise and Shelley instantly assumed a "aren't we cute" mode and pretended to ignore the boys that were gawking at them, all the while comparing their separate thoughts about the males and bursting into fits of girly giggles when one of them said something even remotely funny. Mom stepped up beside me and said to all of us, "Be sure to include the new girl in your conversation." I couldn't believe I was really here and this was really happening. Wet Seal was at the other end of the mall. We would have to pass through a gauntlet of horny teenage boys hanging out in front of the movies. Shelley said to me, "Smile and stick out your tits." I looked over at Mom and she just nodded and just nodded. I couldn't believe it. My own mom wanted me to attract the boys. You have to understand, I should have been with those boys checking out the chicks instead of being a chick. I looked down and saw the toes of my shoes as I walked. Suddenly the girlish click of my hard little heels sounded like thunder in my ears. My pantyhose, my skirt, and my girl's shoes. My God, what next? The boys got their eyes full, said a few "Hi girls," and like my new best girlfriends I smiled and avoided eye contact. Denise whispered in my ear, "I think that tall boy in the Letterman's jacket likes you. Isn't he dreamy?" For some reason I felt relieved when we entered Wet Seal. The relief was shattered when I took in this bastion of teenage femininity. Girls that knew my sister, girls that knew my cousin, all hugging each other and air kissing. God, it was enough to make you sick. I heard Mom's voice say, "Over here, Pumpkin." If she called me Pumpkin one more time, I was going to kill her. "I want you to see this dress." Mom was holding up a print dress made from a crinkle fabric. It was very feminine. It would be above the knee, had a tie in the back, and seemed to have a built-in slip. There was a ruffle at the hem. The dress was mostly pink and black. Shelley had come over and her and Mom were talking shoes to go with the dress. It looked like I would be getting a dress, shoes, and a handbag. My initial panic had subsided a bit. I was thinking that I could just laser this ordeal when it happened. The sales clerk came up and said to Mom, "Can I start a room for your daughter?" Mom smiled and said, "Yes." From behind me came a voice I knew too well, my girlfriend Annie. "Well, it's 10 o'clock and here I am. What's the surprise?" Shelley just pointed in my direction and I turned to look at Annie and two other girls I knew from school. "David." I just nodded while the sales clerk tried to regain her balance. Annie circled me, looking me up and down like she was thinking of purchasing me. Finally she said, "This is a good look for him. I like it." I hung my head in absolute shame as I carried my soon-to-be new dress into the dressing room. After a day of shopping, and I mean serious shopping, I had 3 dresses, some jeans, slacks, 3 skirts, a pair of black pumps, black flats, sandals, black and tan loafers, and tennies. In addition to that, I had bras, panties, slips, sweaters, and blouses. Annie took me off by myself and had a little talk with me. "This was your first girls' day, but it won't be the last. I will be over tomorrow to go to church with you. I want you in the print dress and black pumps. Carry that small black purse. There is a boy named Clark I have been thinking about dating. You and I will be having lunch with him and his brother William. If William asks you out, we can double date. I knew then and there that my life had forever changed. My first girl day had become my life. That's all for now. Please subscribe now for more interesting stories and join Patreon for more exclusive content.